So this is the ride video for the Trek Domane, but I just wanted to cover quickly something that I missed on the first video, which was trying to explain the crank and the way it's slightly different on these bikes. So I'm just going to show you that in this video. The other difference I didn't mention were in the first video is the kind of wishbone suspension system that these Treks have, and they also have a certain amount of give in the handlebars. They've got like a suspension system in the handlebars also. So those are the two things I did miss. So basically it's just time to grab the bike and let's go. Okay, so here we go. Trek Domane Plus LT, I think it's called. It's 2021. I'm not really sure on the model, but I will try and find out, as it's not my bike. So straight away it's pulling quite a bit. I've only got it in the green at the minute, and we are going to go, I know it's boring, but we're going to go and do zigzag, and I'll see where we go from there, see how it goes as to how far we go this evening. Hi Freddie. And yeah, we'll see what happens. So just for reference, I'll be doing the same for both bikes, so they'll both be set in the maximum level of assistance as far as the app goes. So if it was an Orbea, then you'd be talking about the sport mode on the app, so they'll both be in the same equivalent. Bit of a rattle, but I think that's coming from where I don't have this computer on it. Feels a lot different to my bike, obviously. So this is a 54 frame. Mine's 57, but I can ride either. I'm 5'10", so it's not going to make much difference. Well, it does, but you can get yourself to fit either, if that makes sense. So in just the green mode, it does feel quite strong, and it's a windy day, and the reason I've come to zigzag is I've done this so many times on my bike, as I've mentioned before. It's a good test. So my theory is, you know, I can try the different modes on this one and hopefully notice all the differences, if there are any. But to be fair, already I can. So I'm going from green now up to the blue mode. And we'll see how we go. And then I'll give it a bit of rocket mode right at the top. But it feels nice. Seems to feel quite quick.
So just about to start the bottom of the zigzag now.
The main disadvantage I've got with this one is the fact that I don't have any access to any of the data, so I have no idea what the battery usage is or anything, because I don't have the app.
Okay, it's about halfway up. It's feeling all right, relatively strong.
So we're getting close to the top now, and still got it in the medium mode on the actual their version of the iWalk button, basically. So as I'm getting to the top, I'm realising, really feeling the suspension in the handlebars and the wishbone suspension. You really do feel it on a climb like this.
Feels quick. Let's have a bit. So this is maximum power. And here we are, top of zigzag. Still a fair bit of climbing to go yet though. So if you're considering buying an e-bike, whether it's Ebikemotion or Fazua or any other type, I think the Ebikemotion or the mild Ebikemotion system and Fazua are two of the more, I won't say the most popular, but the more popular ones, and they are designed to assist a road bike rider, or whichever, if you've got a hybrid bike or whatever, or a gravel bike. They aren't designed to be to ride for you. They're just designed to improve your ride up the hills. So yeah, to improve your ride, and if you're needing a little assistance on the hills, they will boost your ride. Or you can use them to enhance your ability and enable you to ride with people perhaps you didn't want to be, and that's kind of what I do by riding the bike with an electric motor. I still get some exercise. I turn it down when I'm feeling good. When I'm not feeling so good, I'll turn it up so that the assistance is greater. So what I'm noticing now, I'm not biased in any way, but what I am noticing is a lag. Not a lag as a drag, but a cut-off. You can really feel it, and I think I'm noticing it because on my Ebikemotion system, you don't really, once you hit that 15.5 mile an hour, it just filters out gently, whereas this, maybe it's because I'm in the rocket mode, the highest setting, there's a definite shut off. So when I described it as a lag, that might have been unkind. It's not like a dragging, but it definitely just shuts off, which is interesting. Well, it's different. It's different than mine. It's not a good or a bad thing, really. but you can definitely feel it. So I'm going to go back down to green level. So that's the lowest assistance apart from having it off. Pardon the pun. Yeah, so at this point, this is a nice little, it's just sort of one of those roads where it is a little bit downhill, but you don't really know. It's like a false downhill. It doesn't really feel like it. But no, it's a very comfortable ride. I think probably, dare I say, more comfortable than my bike. Definitely, when I say comfortable, you know, steady. It just feels not quite so racy then. Mine's not uncomfortable, but it's the reason I like, one of the reasons I like my Orbea is because of its kind of more racy feel. And having spoken to the Orbea guys, I know that's kind of what they're after. This definitely doesn't feel like that, but it is comfortable. And I know certainly Des, my friend, that's how he likes it. He looked for something that had, this has the suspension system in the frame that gives you a bit of give, and there's also suspension. When I say suspension, it's all relative, for a road bike anyway. It's all got a bit of flex in it, and so is the headset. I think has a similar thing. A lot of companies do these days. Shimano Specialized have been doing it for a while, but it just, you can feel there's a bit of give, which is nice. You know, it's a difficult one to add up, to sort of contemplate really. Neither of the Ebikemotion or Fazua systems are terrible. They're both really good, but they do different things, and the different things will mean, you know, be more important to different people. Personally, the Fazua system, I think I prefer something, you know, the fact that you have to keep taking it out and detaching it is kind of what made it not for me. But I like the fact I can just plug my bike in, everything stays where it is. Everything's, if you keep removing stuff, in my experience, things have a habit to go wrong more. But I mean, I'm not saying at all that the things don't go wrong with Ebikemotion systems, because they absolutely do. But I just think when it comes to batteries and that sort of thing, there's as many bad points as there are good. It's just what suits you and what's for you. And I know this is like the bike of my friend's dreams, and rightly so. It's a lovely bike. But yeah, you can't really, all I can do is go through all the differences, which are fairly few, I guess. It definitely rides nice. But I don't get the feeling I want to sort of get up, and I feel like I want to sit back and relax a bit more, which is not, you know, nothing wrong with that. So now we've got it still in the green mode. I won't get much assistance along this road because it's quite a fast road, but I thought I'd come along here so that we can get it above the assistance threshold and see what happens. So we're above there now. I didn't feel it give like I did before, So I think it was probably just where it was in the rocket mode, and then when it shuts off you can feel it. But got quite the headwind at the moment. So this is going to be a ride of about, I think probably about 15 miles, not very far, just enough to show you some footage and see if we can. I don't want to choose between the bikes, which is better and which isn't. I just want to highlight the differences. As obviously I think my bike is better, but that's because it's my bike. But statistically there's not a lot in it. So what I thought I'd do now, I'm on a relatively fast bit of road, so I am turning the assistance off. That's what I've done. We'll see how we go like that for a minute. You see, all these bikes are very clever in their design, because along that nice long bit of straight it felt quite quick, really did. So although it's got a comfortable feel, yeah, it was good, fast, felt fast. We'll see later, but I don't have all the information that's normally available, because obviously I haven't connected all this up. It's not my bike, so I don't want to muck anything up. So we've just got the basics. Everything's blank apart from heart rate. It's the only one I really need, really. But yeah, on that straight I was impressed. Felt nice. But my previous bike, well, I've had a few, but my favourite bike that I had before I had my heart attack, I had a Giant Propel Advanced Pro 1 Di2, and everything that I put on it was a lovely bike, and that's the feel of a bike that I enjoy, and that's what I tried to replicate as best you can with my Orbea game. Whereas this, the reason I'm mentioning it, this feels, if I was going to place it in a bike category, I'd say it had the feeling of sort of a Giant Defy maybe. So it's quick when you want it to be, but just a bit of a dodgy turn in here. There we go. What we'll do, we'll get to the bottom of this hill and have a better look. So we've got a nice straight bit here, so but yeah, it's a really nice bike. I'm riding with one hand, not easy, and yeah, I'll see you at the bottom of this hill. So as far as weight and balance, and I believe this is a little heavier than my bike. I can't say you can really notice it that much, and I don't know whether the sort of balancy feeling of the bike, I think, feels a little better. You know, obviously you don't notice it that much with the gains, but obviously with all the weight in the wheel, it does make a difference. You'd be a fool to say it didn't, but it's the same with this though. All the weight is down here, so it just feels different, I think, but it's very, very nice. I would like to, I know the owner of this bike, I think one day he will shell out. It's such a massive expense for something to take the motor and battery out. They do a cover and they're like £80, like $100 odd, just for a cover, which is a lot of money really. But anyway, all these things are expensive. But if he ever does get one, I'd be interested to have a go without all that gubbins in there, because I think you'd have a pretty quick bike really. And see, that's the side of it where my mind was wavering a little when I was trying to decide which bike was for me. The ability, especially after a heart attack, I was hoping to get a little better, a little fitter, get a bit lighter, as we all are trying to. Not much of that has happened. The fitness bit maybe a little bit, but so that was one thing that attracted me to these bikes, was the fact that if I did get to the point where I wanted to ride without assistance, you can take the whole lot out, and that is a major advantage to these bikes. And the fact that you can change your wheels if you want gravel wheels or winter tires, you know, you can do all that, which is a disadvantage to the game. But the way I thought about it when I bought the M20i, if you get good wheels in the first place, you shouldn't need to change them as far as upgrading goes. But it does eliminate the you know, you can have another set of wheels, but you've got really, to have a spare set, you've got to have a spare motor on one, which it's not ideal and very expensive. Well, there's nothing to stop you just changing tyres for the winter, is there? You know, which a lot of people do. But anyway, I'm rabbiting on. Beautiful evening again. So it's a Thursday evening, and it's been a short week for me this week. I was lucky enough not to work Monday. We had a bank holiday on Monday this week, not this year. The thing I am missing is the bars. I do love my wide, not this width, but the thickness of the bar on the aero bars. Yeah, missing that. But you know, swings and roundabouts, isn't it? Okay, so now I want a bit more power. It's actually, it does, there we are, that's in like the rocket mode, but it does seem to switch on its own accord, which I know Des has mentioned before. So for those of you that aren't familiar with the system, so now we're in the highest power mode. If you want to come down, it's like a little touch, not a touch screen, but like a touch panel. That's down to the lowest setting. and that's off. But when it's off, it doesn't feel, you do feel there's like a little bit of a jolt, which I must admit I don't get on my bike, but it's not horrendous. Let's go. There we go, back up to medium. Oh. So now I've got it in strongest power setting in the rocket mode, and we're whipping along nicely. I don't think, like this side of it, I don't think it's any different than mine. As far as power, you really got to take it up. We've got some decent hills coming up, so I'm 16 miles in. I was only coming out for a 10-mile ride, so that's a good sign. I've been quite happy to just carry on. I do believe, as far as motor noise goes, this is quieter, I think. Mine, it may be just where mine's done a few more miles, but mine, going up a steep hill, you can hear it. This one not so much, although it is windy, so whether it's the wind I can hear and nothing else, I don't know. There we go, that's Kit Hill done without too much pain. So what I should notice up here is much smaller gears, and I have been noticing that in the actual ride. It's a bit more spinny, this bike. But and the power, like now, because I'm spinning the gears, it's a bit more punchy. It's almost like the bike is pushing on. It won't be in a minute. This is steep, this bit. Definitely a little gear. There we go. Now, he's got 5430, I think, gears, and 1134 at the back. I'm used to 1132. Then I've got 5236 at the front. So.
Yes, I definitely meant to say 5034 at the front.
But this is alright, it's alright. We are in rocket mode, but this is pretty steep. More gear down. But at the same time, my bike wouldn't struggle up here either. Done. I think definitely the feel of the motor is, especially in the rocket mode or the top setting, it's much more of a mechanical feel. It's almost like you're in or you're not. Whereas mine seems to be much more blended, almost like you don't notice. I'd say this probably feels a bit stronger coming up here. The bike is working hard and I'm not. But we're still nipping off her here at, actually we're only doing 8 miles now, 6 miles. The joy of changing up gear uphill. I do feel for a proper test I'm going to have to go on up St John's Hill. We did this the other day and it's pretty steep. All roads into Shaftesbury are pretty steep, to be honest. So I'll be able to tell up here. So we are still in the old red rocket mode. I wanted to do this one because this is, I think it's 13% at the top, and the assistance on my bike struggles up here, but I think they're alright. There's not a lot in it. No, I think one of the main big differences is when you've got it in, as I have now, in the full power red rocket mode, if you back off, as I've said before, it cuts quite abruptly. And now you see it's gone down to blue automatically on its own. So maybe that's supposed to happen, I'm not sure. But perhaps that's how it deals with the situation, because it's definitely more sort of jolty. It's the only way I can describe it, really. With the mile system, there's definitely more smoothness between the power settings.
So basically, in conclusion, they're both different, very different bikes, and suit different people's needs in different situations. At the end of the day, the choice is yours, but you won't go wrong with either. But hopefully this information will give you a little bit of help into making up your mind. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below, and I'll try and answer them as soon as I can. There's one more video to come based on my Orbea, so I'll see you soon.